people. All right, viewers, now moving on to another important story that we're tracking at this point of time and monitoring closely, where Canadian Hindu Parliamentarian Chandra Arya has made a big statement against Khalistani terrorists inside the Canadian Parliament House of Commons. He stated, and I quote, that 39 years back, Air India flight 182 was blown up mid-air from a bomb planted by Canadian Khalistani extremists. He added that it killed 329 people and is the largest mass killing in Canadian history. Even today, the ideology responsible for this terrorist attack is still alive among few people in Canada. He said, and I now quote from the statement, that now there is a petition on a parliament portal asking for a new inquiry promoting the conspiracy theories promoted by Khalistan extremists. Now let's listen in to the detailed statements that was made by Chandra Arya. All right, viewers, the statement in fact that will be putting out shortly is against the Khalistani terrorists brewing their influence in Canada, and in fact this one of the biggest attacks in the history of Canadian and the worst mass murder that it has been touted almost 4 decades ago is in fact a big statement and a big remembrance in the Canada-India relationship, which hit one of the lowest point in the histories. You know, ever after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has linked the June 2023 murder of Canadian Sikh activist in Surrey now to the agents of the Indian state, this in fact right now raised concerns over the brewing ideology of Khalistan in Canada.
Air India Flight 182 was blown up mid-air from a bomb planted by Canadian Khalistan extremists. It killed 329 people and is the largest mass killings in Canadian history. Even today, the ideology responsible for this terrorist attack is still alive among few people in Canada. 2 Canadian public inquiries have found Khalistan extremists responsible for the bombing of Air India flight. Now, there is a petition on Parliament portal asking for a new inquiry promoting conspiracy theories promoted by Khalistan extremists. Mr. Bal Gupta, whose wife Rama was killed in this attack, told the Globe and Mail, "It is deeply frustrating. It opens up old wounds all over again. It is all garbage. It's an attempt to gain publicity and support for terrorist activities."
All right, viewers, joining me right now to share more details is my colleague Brian. Brian, right now, 39 years back, the statement that has been made by the MP in the Canadian Parliament on the attack that was one of the worst terror attacks in the Canadian history, in fact, is now making its way back to the Parliament, and also about the death of the 329 people, which in fact also severed the ties of India and Canada. How do you view this big statement that is now made in the House of Canadian Parliament? And of course, what is the latest reaction that you're tracking from the political diaspora as far as Canadian government is concerned?
Well, Simran, you're talking about Chandra Arya, who is the Minister of Parliament for Canada. His statement in the Parliament, where he addressed the Parliament, making the 39th anniversary of the Air India Flight 182 bombing, which was caused by a bomb that was planted by Khalistani extremists that happened in Canada. And this attack claimed the 329 lives and remains the largest mass killing in Canadian history. Now, even Chandra Arya also highlighted that the ideology is responsible for the tragedy continues to exist among a small group in Canada still. And he even referenced the findings of 2 Canadian public inquiries, both of which attributed the bombing to Khalistani extremists. Now, he also pointed out a current petition also on the parliamentary portal calling for a new inquiry, which promotes conspiracy theories propagated by these extremists. And he even quoted Bal Gupta, whose wife Rama was also a victim of the attack, as telling the Globe and Mail, and says that it is deeply frustrating. And he goes on to say that it will open up old wounds all over again, and also goes on to say that it's all garbage and it's an attempt to gain publicity and support for terrorist activities. And then he concluded his very statement by thanking the speaker. Simran.
All right, Brian, thank you for sharing the latest that you're tracking at this point of time. Viewers, right now also joining us at this point of time is international affairs expert Arvind Tejawat. I appreciate you speaking to NewsX, sir, and thank you for giving us your time. At this given point of time, there is in fact a fresh stir after the statement has been made in the Parliament of the Canada, and of course now revoking what has happened almost 4 decades ago, the bomb explosion in the Air India flight, which is considered to be as the worst mass murder in the Canadian history. And in the view of the statement, in fact, it is going to be also very critical to understand how India-Canada ties further, going forward, a signal at this given point of time. All eyes are in fact on the statements that are going to be coming from the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, in fact, on this very incident that is still right now very relevant given the extremist Khalistani forces present and also given space in Canada.
You are right that it was the worst terrorist attack in the history of aviation before 2001. The 9/11 happened. It was the worst attack, I suppose, in a history. So now it is a lesson for the Canadian people that they should understand that what their politicians are doing for their political benefit and to satisfy the 6 terrorist group there in Canada, they are trying to play a politics which is a dirty politics and of course not good for the Canada. And the India has given a message during the G20 meeting. Even there was a big mistake in Canadian Prime Minister's the airplane. So even they didn't blame the India, but actually it's a part of diplomacy. And but not to say even a single word on this incident, but it is better to learn the Canadian government that if they will support the Sikh extremists, what the Babbar Khalsa did in 1985 for the flight number 182, so it was not justified at all. And I suppose it's a political relations for them, and the petition is a part for the political awakening. Yeah, what I suppose.
All right. Arvind Tejawat, thank you for speaking to NewsX and giving us your time. Viewers, it's time to move on and shift